Keeping venomous reptiles is an unforgiving hobby, requiring proper training and lots of experience. One simple mistake can be the difference between life and death. Remember, the most venomous snake in the world is the one that just bit you. There are no venomous snakes with training wheels. Just because you see viperkeeper handle snakes a certain way does not mean you should try it too.
Well, we have a fun task ahead of us today. The light failed in the Reaper's cage, and I've tried unsuccessfully to get him to go in his trap box. And this is the problem with trap boxes: is if the snake is in there, this is all a good thing. If the snake is not in there, this is a problem. Oh my God, please just continue and go in there, because there's going to be a confrontation here in a moment. As you could see, we're all ready to haul his ass out and dump him in this bin, which isn't going to be pleasant for him, and he's not going to like that. But this is the way things go. Like I said, trap boxes are great if they're in there. If they're not, you still have to have the skill set to interact with these animals. This is not something that I like doing. It's certainly very risky stuff, but this all comes with the territory and the turf of keeping a venomous snake of this magnitude. This is, the equivalent of a nuclear weapon as far as venom goes. It has presynaptic neurotoxins which totally fry your neuron. It has postsynaptic neurotoxins, as well as hemorrhagens and myotoxins which break down your muscles. So this snake is not a snake to really play with. He is a no-joke snake. He has nothing but anger issues, despite the fact, of course, that I don't provoke him and I try to treat him as gently as possible. So unfortunately, he does not look like he's going to continue to go into his trap box. So without further delay, I will attempt to get him out and plop him into the tub here. I will have the gentle giants on standby just in case he decides to play snake hockey, and then if he does that, well, then I have to resort to the gentle giants, because hooking and tailing him is not going to be the problem. Let's just hope that he usually doesn't like to be touched, as he just displayed. Well, you couldn't see it. Come on, I'm trying to be gentle with you. Oh. Now, normally I would say snakes are not offensive, but that species is, as you just saw. He launched himself out at me, and fortunately I was ready and dumped him in the bin. So we're going to move him over here, and we're going to cover the top of the bin so he calms down while we service his cage. hook on top to signify that there is something in there that you need to be wary of. Alright, so Mr. Taipan's cage is refurbed and he's ready to go back inside. The little Reaper's already pretty stoked and fired up at the bottom of the tub. Come on. Come on. Alright, let me try 2 hooks. You stand fast with that one. You know, this guy, relax. Come on, dude, I'm trying not to stoke you up. I know, coming straight up the wall at me is not very comforting. You know, maybe, it's too bad I didn't have a big walk-in refrigerator because I would have put him in there to cool him down. Do the old Steve Irwin trick. Alright, one foul creature down, a couple to go.
Just gonna plug it in.
Now we move on to the Bothrops asper, which is, no, we didn't open its hide box. Stand back.
Oh.
Now this guy does have this bad tendency to actually attack. A lot of snakes are very defensive and will not attack you and will just sort of try to avoid you. This guy, and taipans in general, if they feel they're cornered, you have a real problem on your hand. They will come directly at you. It's just like, come on. It's just like, you know, cornering an eastern brown. It is something you don't want to do, which makes catching these guys in the wild. My hats off to my Australian friends because they go out to people's homes and catch these things in a very bad situation, and here, you know, it's a fairly controlled situation, and these guys catch these very, very dangerous, highly energetic nuclear snakes all the time. It's one thing to catch a tiger snake at 2 or 3 feet. It's another thing catching a taipan or an eastern brown at 4 or 5 feet. Totally different creatures, just not to be trifled with. So just wanted to show you our little Angolan garter snake who is missing in action right now. Usually this snake is quick to come up to the surface when it thinks food is available. Hello? Anybody home? Huh? These guys are very shy. Oh, there we go. You want something to eat? Oh, there we go. I think she's going opaque. These are elapids. These are not really a medically significant elapid from Africa. There's a whole slew of different species, each with its own very unique coloration pattern, but they're all in the genus Elapsoidea. So she has this bad habit of filling her water dish and spilling all the water out. I'm sorry, I don't mean to disturb you. So we'll let her do her thing, and we'll see if we can rustle up the other one, which only likes to eat geckos, which is a problem, of course. Pogo's taking a swim again.
Darn it, and this is a much better view, too. The whole rest of the time she was facing the other way.
Well, you can go add to that. Alright, so this one is a little bit more reclusive. Of course, I always get the back end. I don't want to grab it because that will frighten it further. And the whole idea is that we want the pointy end to come out and grab something to eat, and we don't want it to grab our fingers, which is on the end of the rather short forceps. Not a lot is known by their venom, or known about their venom. These are lapids, and is that your pointy end? No, it's not. Huh? Come on. Oh, I know. This is... Come on. We don't want to play snake hockey. Oh, there we go. We bit that. So we're just going to gently lift her tail, scoop as much as this out of the water dish as we can, and we'll come back later and see if it ate it. You don't often see Pogo out getting a drink, but this is, we happened to catch her. We came into the room to feed some other animals and get some more video. But we're going to stop and pause and watch Pogo get a drink. This water dish is a lot deeper and taller than she's used to, but I think she can probably pump the water over the hump there and down the gullet.
It really showcases those big venom glands.
Yeah, that's the end of her mandibles. She's got some big glands that are between her eye and the back of the mandible. Actually, Pogo's got some venom components that are really interesting to researchers. Pogo's unique because her parents came from Trinidad, and not many snakes come in from Trinidad anymore. As a matter of fact, I have no idea how they came in that case, but her brother is actually the one that caused a lot of pain and agony for my friend Jim Harrison in the Kentucky Reptile Zoo. Her brother jumped over a tube when he was trying to restrain him to extract venom and latched onto his wrist. That's what nightmares are really made of, and I can't imagine. Jim had to pull the snake off his arm. It seriously envenomated him. The venom was quickly and nicely neutralized by Anavit Tri from the Bioclone folks in Mexico. However, the venom has some bad characteristics. It was so corrosive it fused the bones of his hand and created some sterile abscesses deep within his palm, and he had to get a special hand surgeon and go in and clean things up. You know, a lot of people, you know, sort of don't like Jim, but Jim's a great guy. He does a great service for science and medicine. Kentucky Reptile Zoo is one of the charities that I support. They're nonprofit. Their venom, you know, goes to science and research.
How many snakes does he milk a week?
Yeah, he milks about 600 snakes a week, which is just crazy, because I don't even like pitting 2 or 3 snakes a week, like, you know, the Echis ocellatus babies and such, because you're really putting yourself at risk of serious consequences, even up to and even including death. And he does this 600 or more times a week. His wife Kristen and the rest of the zoo staff go out and do outreach, as well as school classes and things like that. It really pained me that a snake that I provided Jim caused him harm, but you know, as he said to me many times, is look, you know, this is my calling, this is what I do. You know, it's just happens. So Pogo, you had a nice drink, huh? Alright, so, well, we'll let her go, and we'll continue on with what we came in the room for in the first place. Hello there, how are you? Huh? Yes. You are a curious beast. You're wondering who the hell we are and why we're keeping you captive.
Well, of course, now you stop drinking. Well, got a nice look at your face anyway, which we don't often see.
Usually when I see her face, it's got its mouth open, going very fast at the piece of food that I'm holding it, and that's not necessarily a view that I find very comforting.
And there she goes.